Okay, so if you're somewhere in that 45 to 54 age range, you know that retirement isn't some far-off abstract idea anymore. Suddenly, it's maybe 10, 15, or 20 years away whether you're ready or not. Today we're going to tackle that really uncomfortable question that most of us would rather just avoid. Are you actually on track, or are you just kind of hoping it all works out? So let's pull back the curtain and see where you really stand. I'm sure you know this feeling. It's late at night, everything's quiet, you pop open your banking app, then you check your investment account, then your 401k. You start doing the math in your head, and then this little voice just creeps in. Is this enough? You're not broke, but you don't feel totally secure either. You're stuck in that weird middle ground between, I think I'm okay, and, oh wow, what if I'm really, really behind?
You know, so much of the financial advice out there is for people in their 20s, right? Start early, they all say. And that's awesome advice, but what about us? What about when the clock is ticking a lot louder? The truth is, this specific decade, your late 40s and early 50s, this is what truly decides your retirement outcome. This is it. This is where the game is really won or lost.
So why? Why is this decade the big one? Well, for one, your income is probably at its peak, or pretty close to it. You've got maximum saving power. Two, that investing window, yeah, it's shrinking. Compound interest just doesn't have as much runway to do its magic. And number three, and this is a big one, your margin for error is just tiny. A mistake now costs a whole lot more than a mistake you made back at 25.
All right, let's get into the numbers. I know a lot of us love to look up the average net worth for our age just to kind of see how we're doing. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Average is probably one of the most dangerous, most misleading words in all of personal finance.
So check this out. The Federal Reserve says the average net worth for a household between 45 and 54 is about $1 million. Now hold on. Before you either feel way too good about yourself or way too bad, you need to know that this number, it doesn't really tell the whole story.
We need to look at a much more honest number, and that's the median. For that exact same group, the median net worth is actually closer to $350,000. See, the median is the real middle. Half of the people have more, half have less. That is a huge difference from $1 million, right?
And this right here, this shows you the problem perfectly. That huge gap between the average and the median, it just means a handful of super wealthy people are skewing the numbers, pulling that average way, way up. So if you're looking at that $1 million number and thinking, oh man, I'm so far behind, guess what? You're not alone. Most people are nowhere near that.
Okay, but here's where things get really interesting. Because even if your net worth is high, does that automatically mean you're ready to retire? And believe it or not, the answer is often no. All right, let's imagine two people. Let's call them Person A and Person B. Both are 50 years old. Person A on paper looks great. Net worth of $900,000. But look closer. $600,000 of that is tied up in their house. Now, Person B has a lower net worth, only $600,000, but they have $450,000 sitting in actual retirement accounts. So yeah, Person A looks richer, but who do you think is actually in a better spot to stop working? Oh, it's Person B, and it's not even close. And here's the key takeaway, something you really got to remember. You can't eat your house in retirement. I mean, unless you're planning on selling it or taking out a big loan, that home equity isn't paying your electric bill. It's not buying your groceries. Your net worth can be totally puffed up by assets you can't actually use to live on.
Okay, so if what's my net worth is the wrong question to be asking, then what's the right one? We've got to completely shift our focus from just a simple number to a way more practical, way more powerful idea. This is the question that really matters. It's not about what you're worth. It's about what your money can actually do for you. Is it in the right place, ready to go to work and create an income for you when those paychecks stop coming in? Totally different question.
And to answer that question, we need a new term. Let's call it your investable retirement assets. Basically, this is the money that's actually meant to fund your retirement. We're talking 401ks, IRAs, brokerage accounts, that kind of stuff. And notice what we're leaving out, the equity in your main home. Because again, unless you sell it, that money isn't liquid. It's not there to pay the bills month to month.
So what's a good target? Well, here's a simple rule of thumb a lot of financial planners use. By the time you're in your early 50s, you want to have somewhere between 5 and 7 times your annual income saved up in those investable retirement assets. So let's say you make $100,000 a year. Your goal is to have between $500,000 and $700,000.
And remember, that's not total net worth. That's money that's ready and able to work for you. But here comes the reality check. The average 401k for folks in this exact same age group is less than $200,000. And that gap, that huge difference between that 5 to 7 times benchmark and what most people actually have, that's it. That's the source of that financial anxiety that so many of us feel but can't quite name. Okay, if some of this is hitting a little close to home, good. Honestly, that's a good thing. It means you're paying attention. Feeling a little uncomfortable right now is actually a gift because it means you still have time to switch from just worrying to actually doing something about it. So let's talk about what you can do like today. I've got 3 simple steps for you. First, separate. Go home and make 2 lists. One for your total net worth and a separate one for just your retirement-ready assets. Just seeing that difference is going to be a huge eye-opener. Second, increase. Focus on upping your savings rate. Right now, consistency is way more important than trying to hit some risky home run in the market. And third, protect. You have to start shifting your mindset to protecting what you've already built. Managing risk becomes way more important now.
Look, the point of all this isn't to make you feel guilty. It's about getting a grip, about taking back control. You are not too late. You're just at that moment in life where being crystal clear and realistic is so much more valuable than just wishful thinking.
So I want to leave you with one final question to really chew on. It's the one that cuts through all the noise about net worth and what the average person has. If you were to stop working in, say, 10 or 15 years, what would the money you have saved right now, what would it actually do for you? Answering that one question, that's where the real planning begins.
You know, we think about our finances all the time, but what if we're looking at them all wrong? What if your financial plan wasn't just about money, but was actually your most powerful tool for building a genuinely more fulfilling life? That's exactly what we're going to dive into. I mean, really think about it. Can a budget or a savings plan actually lead to real personal growth? It sounds kind of weird, right? Most of us see these as completely separate worlds, but that's the core idea we're going to unpack here. How to turn your financial strategy into a full-blown life improvement strategy.
Okay, so where do most of us get tripped up? Well, it pretty much boils down to one critical and super common mistake. Here it is. We tend to put money in one box. Things like saving for a house, paying off that student loan, and then we put our personal well-being in a completely different box, like way over on the other side of the room. That's the box for learning a new skill or getting healthy or, finding a passion. But here's the thing. The problem is those 2 boxes are meant to be connected. They're supposed to fuel each other.
And when we keep them separate like that, well, there's a real, tangible cost. It's not just a philosophical thing. This separation can actively hold us back in life.
Think about it. When we separate our money from our well-being, we kind of create this false choice, right? We tell ourselves we have to focus so intensely on the financial goals, working that extra job, cutting every cost, that we end up neglecting our passions, our health, maybe even our relationships. And what's the result? Total burnout. And that feeling of being completely disconnected from your own life. I mean, does that sound at all familiar to you? This imbalance creates what you could call a burnout cycle, and it's vicious. You're working so hard for that financial progress, but in the process, you're totally neglecting your health and your mind. That leads to stagnation and just pure exhaustion, which of course makes it even harder to get ahead in your career or even just enjoy your life. And you just end up feeling stuck, not really making progress anywhere. Okay, but here is the good news, and it's really good news. There is a super powerful way to break out of that cycle. It's all about making this one fundamental shift in how you see things, connecting your money directly to your life goals. It's about building toward a future that has more options and way more freedom. This quote really nails it. The goal is to make your money work for your well-being, not just for your bank account. And when you finally do that, you create this incredible synergy where your finances and your personal growth actually start feeding each other. So instead of that negative burnout cycle we talked about, you create this amazing positive feedback loop. Think of it this way. Your smart financial habits give you the resources to invest in yourself. Then that personal growth leads to better opportunities, which, you guessed it, improves your financial situation. It just keeps building on itself. All right, so how do we actually do this? Let's get practical. Here are 4 key strategies to link your money directly to your self-improvement. Okay, here are the 4 pillars. First up, investing in your skills and education to, increase your value. Second, investing in your health and wellness. because let's be real, you are your greatest asset. Third, building that all-important emergency fund for security. And fourth, and this is a fun one, investing in enriching experiences that actually make life worth living. And the key thing to remember is, these aren't just expenses. They are direct investments in you.
So let's break that first one down, investing in skills. This is about actively, intentionally putting money in your budget for things that will make you better. Better at your job or better at pursuing a passion you have. So maybe that's an online course to get a certification or a ticket to a big industry conference. It could even be something like hiring a mentor to help guide you.
Now, that emergency fund, it is so much more than just a safety net for when your car breaks down. It's a psychological tool. Seriously, just having that cushion reduces so much stress, and it gives you the confidence to take calculated risks. Things like maybe leaving a job you absolutely hate, or finally starting that side project you've been dreaming about. You can think of it as your financial foundation, your defense. It's the thing that makes everything else possible.
And all of this, it leads to the ultimate goal. Okay, so if the emergency fund is your defense, this next concept is all about your offense. It's time to build what the source calls a freedom fund. And honestly, this is the real game changer.
So what is a freedom fund? Well, it's a dedicated pot of money set aside specifically for opportunity. It's for that dream trip you've always wanted to take. It's for that business idea that you just can't stop thinking about. It's for the chance to take a sabbatical and recharge. This is money that is dedicated not just to surviving, but to truly living and growing.
You see, the real power of this fund isn't even just the money itself. It's the mindset it creates. Just knowing it's there, it opens up this entire world of possibility. It completely transforms your relationship with money, moving it away from scarcity and fear to one of freedom and genuine opportunity.
So look, the big takeaway from all of this is actually pretty simple, but it's also profound. Your budget, your savings account, your entire financial plan, it's not just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It can be, and it absolutely should be, the single most powerful engine you have for your own personal growth.
Which really just leaves us with one final powerful question to think about. If your money really is a tool, and it is, what kind of life are you going to build with it?